Hello world, Wendy from Cali here, back with our Mixed Manny chat. Today we are using Paint Party from the latest Color Play sub box and Untamed. And I thought these would go really good together because of the contrast of the black lines over the colorful Paint Party. So let's get to it. Oh, I prepped my nails, took my other mani off, and all I have on right now is Nail Aid Keratin 3-Day Growth. I'm still trying to grow all my nails back. I chopped them all down. Has this ever happened to you? I have this cheapy cuticle cutter and it broke. I know it came in one of those like manicure sets that were like, it varies in price, but I thought that was really sad, so I thought I'd share that. Throwing it out now. I did buy a new cuticle trimmer, cuticle nipper, off of Amazon, and this one's really good. I do like the way it's constructed. I think Stacy Adams has one that's similar, but the construction of this makes me feel like it's worth paying the extra money for it and that it will last a very long time. So here's a hoping. But let's get started on nails and we can chit chat about what's been going on. I did want to start off by talking about the books that I've been reading. Lots of random romance novels. So for my birthday, I had purchased a bunch of stuff, and one of the purchases I made gave 1 free month of Audible. So I ended up using that 1 credit to get the latest Abby Jimenez book, Say You'll Remember Me, I think is what it was called. And I loved it. It was really hitting home because in the line of work that I do, I have experience with, helping with long-term care claims and all of that. And so the book, which I won't go too much into because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's actually going to want to read it, has a character that has dementia, and so it's one of those where it hits pretty close to home. In fact, one of our old neighbors, who no longer is with us anymore, she ended up pretty much not being able to recognize her surroundings and people and all of that, and she was placed in a home. But yeah, so that went down a big spiral of looking for other books, and I landed on some books by Christine Lauren, which is actually 2 authors that write books together, and the books were called The Soulmate Equation and The True Love Experiment, I think it was called. I read the books like out of order, which was weird that I did that. I had gotten one book from one library app and the other book from another library app, and I had started reading the correct book briefly, but thinking this book sounds like it should go second for some reason. I don't know why I thought that, but then I went and read the True Love Experiment or whatever and realized, oh, Soulmate Equation should have been read first. It's okay though, because I often have done that with Abby Jimenez books. I think I read Yours Truly first, even though it wasn't the very first book, like in like the whole series of books that she's written. And so I've had to go back and reread stuff, re-listen to stuff. But those books are so popular that it's like very hard to like get them right away from the library apps. You have to be placed in a on a wait list, and some of them take months before they're available. So I've had to kind of explore other authors while I wait, because I also don't want to spend any money unless I absolutely have to for reading books, which I affectionately call smut, because a lot of chick lit has just really like interesting scenes that are depicted in the books. And Panda Bear, my significant other, is always like, yeah, it's usually whenever you like are listening to an audiobook and you've like fallen fast asleep, when I walk into the room and it's like that scene, that is the scene that's like happening. And so I'm just like, wow, like, yeah, it happens apparently a lot. So we call it affectionately smut. But those are the books I've been reading. And the current books, the current book I started is by Colleen Hoover. She's the author who wrote It Ends With Us, and then It Starts With Us, which we were at the library and we stopped by the Friends of the Library bookstore, and they had a copy of It Starts With Us, which I really enjoyed that story a lot, but I wasn't going to grab the book just because like hard copy books, I rarely ever read those anymore. I really enjoy reading off of my phone or listening to audiobooks, and so having like a physical like book is just too cumbersome, so I rarely ever like read it. But they did have a copy of that book at the local library, Friends of the Library, where you grab a bag and you could stuff the bag full of books from the store, and you only pay $5. So the kiddos, we brought my nieces to the library, and that's what they got to do at the beginning, pick out books, and then later on they enjoyed playing some Roblox. And yeah, that was Saturday. And Sunday I spent most of the day cooking after working out. So Panda Bear and I went to Planet Fitness on Saturday morning and on Sunday morning, and spent most of Sunday after the gym cooking, because one of my goals was to use up a lot of our leftovers and food that was like sitting around for a bit that hadn't expired yet, but if we let them go too long, we risk them molding or rotting or whatever, expiring. And so the goal was to make dinner with some of those old ingredients along with what we found at the store on sale. And I ended up making asparagus, stuffed mushrooms. We had some gold potatoes that were like growing like little, what do you call those? They're growing stuff, not mold, but you know, when potatoes get old, they start growing little bumps. Anyways, I carefully removed all of those, and we were still able to utilize the old potatoes. So I made roasted potatoes, out of that. And then I had made homemade pesto sauce a couple weeks back, and I knew I wanted to use it. We had an old box of rotini pasta that was like begging to be used, and so we went to the store and had purchased some shrimp, which was on sale for $5.99 a pound. It actually said $6.99 a pound, but when we actually went to go ring it up, it was $5.99 per pound, which was amazing. That's a great price for shrimp. It was the extra large shrimps too. So I spent most of the day cooking all of those things, which my mom came into the kitchen at one point and was like, "You're gonna spend all day working again?" I'm like, you call it work, I call it cooking. So yeah, basically did that. I also, on my birthday, my gal pal Diane had went to Butter Lab, which is a local bakery, and got desserts for us to celebrate my birthday. One of those desserts was pandan crinkle cookies, and we absolutely love them. And I was just like, dude, at $1.50 a pop, I need to learn to make this like at home so I can enjoy it like whenever I want. And I was debating whether or not to purchase this pandan extract from Amazon. It had mixed reviews, so I was like not quite sure, and I was debating whether or not to go buy pandan leaves and just make my own extract, which sounded like a lot of work, but then I can actually control like, you know, like what goes in it and how it's made and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I was too overwhelmed thinking about having to make my own pandan extract and then baking the cookies, so I caved. And I was like, alright, I have some TopCashBack that I can cash out for an Amazon gift card, extra 2% of return for it, and just buy that pandan extract. And if it doesn't work out, hey, it's just a batch of cookies whose ingredients, you know, I already had at home, so it's not really a waste. So I was like, all right, let's just do this. And I'm so glad I did, because that pandan extract was really tasty. Like the cookies I made, I like, not only was I proud of it, but like my mom was so, like, she loved the cookies so much that she ended up taking pictures and posting it on Facebook. And I brought so I baked a whole bunch of them last night, and I brought some to work, and I had a few coworkers that stopped by and were like, oh my gosh, those cookies are so good. So that made me happy, because I was very proud of the cookies, and having others enjoy them also made it that much better. But yeah, back to books. We were talking about books, and I went off on a tangent, and I was talking about Colleen Hoover. So it ends with Us, which was made into a movie. There was all that controversy between the director and one of the main actress in the movie, which the movie, in my opinion, was like, it wasn't good. The book, way better. So if you're thinking about watching the movie on Netflix versus reading the book, I would say read the book or listen to the audiobook. My opinion, of course. Or if you're gonna, like, you know, read the book, I would recommend, you know, reading it ends with us, and then right after reading It Starts With Us, because I liked It Starts With Us a lot. I would recommend that book. But anyways, Colleen Hoover, I'm reading, there's a series, I guess. The local library app that I use has this box set of the 3 books, ebooks actually, and the first book is called Slammed. And so that's what I'm currently reading. I was reading this other book for a brief moment called Maybe Someday, but it was in my library app for like a couple of weeks now, and by the time I actually got to the point of reading it, I had to return it, and I guess somebody else must have it like checked out, because it didn't allow for me to like renew it or anything like that. So that typically means that someone else had placed it on hold or reserve, and I have to wait till that person finishes reading it, and hopefully there's not too many others in line for that. But for now, I do have the 3 books, starting with Slammed, and it's like a little under 700 pages to go through all 3 books. So that should keep me busy for a little bit. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, I've actually enjoyed some, quality reading time as of recent. Probably because I haven't been watching too much stuff. Usually Panda Bear and I will just like watch IG videos and stuff like that we sent to each other at the end of the night, because I'm literally working all day during the weekdays, and the only time we have together is like right before bed. And so we send each other IG like memes and videos and stuff like that throughout the days, and we'll watch them together because it's fun and it's easy. And there was a meme or a little video that was like, 2-hour movie, can't commit too long, yet you can scroll through social media for 5 hours without any issues. And that's so true. Sometimes it's easier to just scroll through social media. Facebook, IG. For Panda, it's X or Twitter. Way easier to do that than to sit through a movie. This weekend, though, we did sit through a couple movies. We also played, there's like a color block Jenga game that we haven't played for a while with the kiddos. So I brought that over and we played that after the library and between movies. And we also played Uno. So I purchased a pack of Uno cards that had Sanrio characters on them, which I thought were super cute. And I had to replenish my Uno cards because every time I get a new pack, I end up giving them to my nieces because they need a new pack because either the old pack that they have were ruined or whatever. But this time around, I bought this pack that had Sanrio characters, and I was like, I'm keeping this pack. This one's mine. So I keep it in my bag, and we have them whenever and wherever I'm out and about with my bag, and we'll sometimes play with them, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah. Okay. Almost there. I'll do the thumbs last because I feel like I tend to use them as tools when I'm doing my nails, and so I'm going to leave them and do them last all together. So let's open Untamed. Tomorrow after work, school's almost over for my nieces and my nephew, and the nieces have open house at their elementary school, and they get to be off of school early, and there's a barbecue for family and I guess family. I was going to say family and friends, but I'm pretty sure it's just for family. But anyways, we're going to be attending that because the barbecue is like a fundraiser for the school as well. So I'm excited to see what the kiddos have been up to and spend some time with them during the work week. And oh, the set is older, so sometimes older sets are stickier, but so far so good. We're gonna the strongest smell of nail polish from this set. All right, so let's place that over here. And then later this week, my coworkers are taking me out to lunch as a belated birthday celebration because this is how busy we've been. Haven't had a chance to celebrate my birthday, and it's almost the end of the month. My birthday was at the beginning of the month. But we're finally seeing a little bit of an open window to go celebrate my birthday. So that's happening this week too. And then in a blink of an eye, it's Memorial Day. So we're just a week away from Memorial Day, which is not counting New Year's Day. Memorial Day is the first paid holiday that we've got at my workplace, because my workplace is a very small company and there are very few paid holidays. So Memorial Day is the start of, I always say this, Memorial Day is like the start of the end of the year, because whenever Memorial Day hits, we blink and we're literally celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas. Those holidays, they just roll by so fast. Once Memorial Day hits, then we've got Independence Day, then we've got Labor Day, then we've got Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving, and then we've got Christmas, and then New Year's, and that's it. So I always, before Memorial Day, tell my team members, hey, make sure to take a vacation sometime before Memorial Day, because then it gets really busy. And then, summertime folks are always taking time off too, especially the coworkers that have kids. They'll take some summertime days off. This year I've taken time off because my sister is actually going to be coming to California for vacation. Her family, their flights are all booked and ready and all of that good stuff, and so can't wait until they come in August. So I've taken some time off already. It's on the calendar, approved, ready to go. And I can't wait to see them. But Here we go. All right, so I do like how the black overlay is breaking up the color just a bit, and it helps kind of pull together the whole Manny instead of just like random colors all together. Although I probably should have taken a picture of the nails without the overlay first, but it's fine. I was going to use it also for Manny Bingo. So overlay time. Black colored, off-brand. Black obviously is what we're going for the overlay with Untamed. And I am loving this. I can't wait to see what it looks like in the sunlight, because Paint Party is super sparkly and shiny underneath, but usually with overlays it kind of mutes everything just a teeny bit, so it'll be interesting to see how muted it will look in the sunlight with the overlay on top. But yeah, here we go. Trying to clean up the edges a little bit there. I think I'll use this one as the nail stick. There we go for Untamed. So Shannon, my Color Street stylist, had a little party for the summer launch for Color Street, and it's one of those parties where you participate and you get like a ticket for a raffle that they do live spins for and all of that for each of the games that you play, as well as any purchases that you make. You're entered in the raffle too. And yesterday, after a ton of time in the kitchen, I took a break and had seen that Shannon was doing live spins for the party, and so I was able to log on just briefly towards the end, and who would have thunk it, but I ended up winning one of the grand prize spins, and I was like so shocked and super happy because I didn't expect it. So it was one of those where I was just like, holy cow, like I couldn't believe it. And the timing was my timing was impeccable. Sometimes I feel like we live in a sim, because things will happen and it's like it's meant to happen. I don't know. It's one of those where everyone's like, you know, oh, it feels like a coincidence or something like that, you know? But it's not. Like, I think it's somehow all written into the code. But anyways, I was so happy and excited, and I got a chance to pick what I wanted, and that is awesome too. I definitely wanted another one of these. The dual action nail oil that came in the Mother's Day set, and now I got a chance to get it because that was one of the grand prize like options, was to pick that, and so super excited to be able to get that bundle. And all for just participating in a party and making a purchase that I probably would have made already, but I finally purchased a few of the core catalog sets that I've been sitting and waiting, debating, Like, I wasn't quite sure, like, if I should buy them now or wait and see if maybe there would be a buy one get one sale or something like that, because sometimes Color Street will do that. Like, if you wait long enough and you don't, if you're not scared of missing out on something where, some sets will sell out and then they won't replace them. But with the core catalog, usually that's not going to happen. So I usually wait and see. But I ended up caving and purchasing. There were 2 overlays that I was sitting on for the longest time. There was this hearts overlay and the stars overlay that I was like wanting to purchase, but again, just waiting and thinking maybe if I wait long enough, the Color Street sales might like show up. But I couldn't wait any longer because I really wanted to have the star one for the 4th of July, which, if you think about it, is literally right around the corner. I know Memorial Day is this weekend, but 4th of July, you blink and it's going to be Independence Day. Panda Bear and I actually have tickets to go see the new Mission Impossible movie on Memorial Day. And we have plans to rewatch the first part of the movie before we go and watch the newest one in the theater. So now we just got to figure out what streaming platform is it streaming on right now so that we can watch that together this weekend. So I'm trying to finish my nails in a hurry because it is like almost 7 o'clock and I want to spend some quality time with Panda Bear, because yesterday, like I said, I spent so much time in the kitchen making us dinner and baking cookies to bring to work that we barely got to spend very much time together. We did end up catching up on some of the IG videos that he and I sent each other, but that was it. Like, I was dead tired after the gym and standing in the kitchen all day. I was beat. And originally my plan was that I was going to also get some work done and also make new bars of soap, but I had to pin the soap making for this coming weekend, which is good because it's a holiday weekend, so 3 days off instead of 2 days off. And I also didn't get a chance to finish off the work I was going to do, which I did work extra on Friday night to get some of it done, so that helped a lot. I did finish what I needed to do this morning when I first got into the office, so sometimes it's okay not to go and do the extra mile, because I need to stop giving up my weekends for work when it's not truly necessary. Sometimes I try to force it so that during the work week I'm not so stressed out. But I was listening to an audiobook. What was it called? The Tao of Pooh? Something like that. Basically, gotta be like Pooh Bear and just kind of go with the flow and just, simple. Keep things simple. And not try to force things, not try to run around and be all crazy, busy. Like, what for? I gotta just enjoy the moment, which Pooh Bear is super simple, enjoys the moment, and yeah. Which Pooh character was your favorite growing up? Because for me, Eeyore was my favorite, and it's funny because out of the Inside Out characters, Sadness is who I feel like I resonate, like her character like is my spirit animal. So is Eeyore, but oftentimes people find me more like Joy, or now recently with Inside Out 2, Anxiety. And if I really, really think about it, on my usual, like, day-to-day life, Pooh Bear really is, like, I do embody Pooh Bear a lot. And so, learning to live life like Pooh Bear might have to be my thing for the rest of the year. But yeah. Anywho, almost done here, which is great because that means I could go and hang out with Panda Bear. But I'm loving this. It's very different. I was gonna say, am I missing one? No, they were just stuck together. These older sets, they get so sticky sometimes. But I'd rather they be super sticky than not sticky at all, so no complaints here. Alright. I just cannot believe, like, the month of May is really long, especially when you have the month of May starting like towards the end of the week. It ends up feeling like it's super long. But we have Memorial Day this coming Monday, and literally that weekend after Memorial Day, that Sunday is already another month. We're already into June. So it is amazing how quickly time flies. I was even like checking out YouTube and wondering, like, when was the last time I posted a video? Because I know it wasn't that long ago, because I did an unboxing of the Twisted Tie-Dye color play box, but like actually doing a mixed Manny chat was a while ago, because I did the unboxing last week, and before that it was a color with me video, and actually doing my nails in a video, it's been a couple weeks. So I was like, oh no, I need to do a mixed Manny chat, and fast. But it's hard sometimes finding the time. Like yesterday would probably have been a good day to do a mixed Manny chat video, except that I didn't want to put on new nails knowing that I was going to be cooking in the kitchen all day, because I literally had on Indigo Burst from like earlier in the week, and I didn't want to take it off, but after all the cooking and washing my hands and dishes, this problem child finger, this whole part right here had chipped off, and so I had to fix it, luckily with a leftover strip of Indigo Burst, so that when I went to work today, it didn't look like all like old and needing a manicure. But I'm happy to be able to have a new mani for this week. What do you guys think? This is the finished look. Obviously, the lighting in here sucks balls. And I need to see what it looks like out in the sun. But I'm liking it. And I'm hoping I'm going to love it once I see it in the sun. But I can see it sparkling. The camera isn't really picking up on the glitter underneath. But yeah. If you watched all the way through, yay! Thank you for just watching, and hopefully you're enjoying this channel. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, share the video, comment below if you watched all the way through and you want to comment something but you don't know what to comment. You can comment a tiger, only because this Untamed just kind of reminds me of like a cotton candy tiger for some reason. But yeah, that's it. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.